Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel Webonsky. Today we will talk about what is Azure Functions and what are its benefits and why we use it and where we can use and everything about Azure Functions, and we will take the conceptual knowledge of it. So let's start. Azure Functions is a serverless solution that allows you to write less code, maintain less infrastructure, and save on costs. Instead of worrying about deploying and maintaining servers, the cloud infrastructure provides all the up-to-date resources needed to keep your applications running. So, as a concept, like it is a serverless service in Azure. You only need to worry about the code that you are writing to fulfill your need, and you don't need to worry about servers, infrastructures, and its costs. Nothing you need to worry about that. You just need to focus on the code that you want to fulfill your need, and rest of the things will be taken care by the Azure. Let's see further. You focus on the pieces of code that matter most to you, and Azure Functions handle the rest. We often build systems to react to a series of critical events, whether you are building a web API, responding to database changes, processing IoT data streams, or even managing message queues. Every application needs a way to run some code as these events occur. To meet this need, Azure Functions provides compute on demand in two significant ways. First, Azure Functions allows you to implement your system's logic into really readily available blocks of code. These code blocks are called functions. Different functions can run anytime you need to respond to critical events. Second, as requests increase, Azure Functions meets the demand with as many resources and functions instances as necessary, but only while needed. So as requests fall, any extra resources and application instances drop off automatically. So now you understood, like as soon as the load increases, the server resources gets also upgraded to meet or to fulfill the load, and as soon as the load decreases, it automatically falls down and keeps the minimum requirement of the servers. So it happens in the background automatically, and which is managed by Azure. You don't need to worry about the infrastructure management, its cost, hardware, nothing else. Just you need to write your code and deploy it in Azure Functions or in Azure App Service. Let's see further what are the scenarios where we can use Azure Functions to get more understanding of it. The following are a common but by no means exhaustive set of scenarios for Azure's functions. So if you want to, then you can build a web API, implement an endpoint for your web applications using the HTTP trigger. So suppose you create a API endpoint and you just need to trigger HTTP event, and the function will get executed and will fulfill for the purpose for which you created the function. So there are many ways or type to create a function. So here we have HTTP trigger. The second is process file uploads. So you can write a function to process file as soon as a file gets uploaded. So as let's see the description. So here, run code when a file is uploaded or changed in blob storage. So as soon as the file gets uploaded in the blob storage, your function will get triggered. So there are many ways to trigger your function. The other is build a serverless workflow. Chain a series of functions together using durable functions. Respond to database changes. Run custom logic when a document is created or updated in Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB is a JSON based database, same like MongoDB. So we won't get in the detail of it, just get an overview of it. Run scheduled tasks, execute code on predefined timed intervals, create reliable message queue systems, process message queues using queue storage, service bus, or event hubs, analyze IoT data streams, collect and process data from IoT devices, process data in real time, use functions and signal R to respond to data in the moment. So these are the scenarios where you can consider using Azure functions and get utilize its benefit, because from the cost perspective it is almost free. So we will see the costing and pricing plan is, as well, but as an now I am just telling you that we have 1 million of execution free every month. So it is almost free, you don't need to worry. Even you, once you exceed this limit, the cost is very cheap, so that is negligible almost. So as you build your functions, you have the following options and resources available. So use your preferred languages. So what are the languages which you can choose to write your Azure functions? So these are the languages: C Sharp, Java, JavaScript, PowerShell, or Python. Or use a custom handler to use virtually any other language. So these are the languages you can choose to write your Azure functions and deploy it on the Azure app. So these are the benefits and concept of Azure functions when you are going to use it. So just I will keep this uh, resource URL resource URL so that you can in the description, so that you can have a look and get yourself familiar with it in detail. So let's see the pricing plan. So this is the pricing plan of Azure functions. Here you can see the free grant per month. So here we have 1 million executions every month. Even once you exceed it, the charge is 0.20 per million execution. So it is almost negligible. So you can consider it as a free service which you can use. And 400,000 GBs storage per month free. And even once you exceed, the storage cost will be 0.000016 per GBs. So it is very good in terms of reducing the cost on and avoiding the cost on server resources. So you can consider Azure functions and you can use it in many scenarios and to solve your problems. So this is all. If you find this video useful, please like and subscribe.